Okay, good evening, all of you. And today is our third lecture on sonnets, perhaps. So, in yesterday's lecture, I have covered 2 sonnets that are prescribed for you, and 3 are left. So, let us start with the third sonnet, that is sonnet number 55. So, let me share my screen before I start that. Yeah, this is sonnet 55. Is my screen visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let us continue. This is sonnet 55. Um, this sonnet actually is again about the greatness of the rhyme, that is poetry, and how Shakespeare is going to describe that this poetry is going to give his beloved the immortality or the eternity. That is how he is going to discuss. This is also one of the sonnets that is written to the fair young man. As we have already discussed, the main groups of sonnets are 1 to 126. Those are written to the fair young man, and 127 to 154 to the dark lady. These are major 2 groups that we usually divide the sonnet sequence of Shakespeare. So this is also again a part of the sonnets that are written for the fair young man or fair youth, that whom we call. Okay. Uh, in the last 2 sonnets, that is sonnet number 18 and also sonnet 30, we have seen how the poet was contemplating, or the speaker was contemplating in sonnet 8, how to compare his beloved to whom, is it to summer or not. And then he argues how he can't, because whatever the characteristics that he finds in summer are absent in his beloved. So, and that is why he says that he can't do. And lastly, he resolves that, of course, you will be, your fair means your beauty, your youth will be eternal in my lines. Even death cannot take you away. If it happens so, think that I have never written. So that is a kind of guarantee or affirmation that was given to his beloved out of his love, that his comparison or his celebrating of his beloved in these lines will live forever. Okay. And then in sonnet 30, we have seen how the poet often enters, into the silent sessions of thought, wherein he'll be wailing of his past, his disappointments or his failures, his frustrations, etc., for which he, of course, had paid already. But again, he is contemplating when he is sitting in silence. The past was written. It's like nostalgia. That. So he says that, shall I again collect and then again and again wail for the past woes? Finally, he, with the couplet, in the concluding couplet, he, of course, rules out all that and stating that the recollection of his friend or his beloved will take away all his sorrows or sad moments, etc., and it rewards him maybe with peace of mind, etc. There he is actually celebrating the greatness or power of friendship. That is what we have seen. So let us see how he is going to celebrate his friend in this sonnet. Now, not marble nor the gilded monuments of princes shall outlive this powerful rhyme, but you shall shine more bright in these contents than unswept stone besmeared with sluttish time. See, here we have all the natural, materials, like marble of course is a stone, that which is used for making monuments, building statues or very big palaces, or some monuments like historical monuments that in Delhi we have so many monuments like Qutub Minar, etc. And of course, though it is not made made of marble, we have many like Eiffel Tower, or if you take Hyderabad, we have Charminar, like that. So um, and not only that, we of course have the in the history we find all the kings and queens are very fond of erecting their statues, okay, princes, and building their own statues of stone, like gilded, decorated with gold or gems or any other materials like that. But he is saying that many princes might have established their statues like that, but they, of course, will not outlive. They will not survive as long as you will be surviving in this powerful rhyme. So, you, of course, is his beloved. Okay. And that is why he is saying that you shall shine more bright in these contents. So in these lines, in these content means in these lines, you is of course his beloved, the speaker's beloved. He is saying that you will shine, or he used shall. It is a tone of assuring, the guarantee that you will certainly live brightly than all others, okay, in these contents, than unswept stone besmeared with sluttish time. He says, of course, stone also longs for a long time. Yet, he says that this comparison of time, of course, time is, we are saying like time and tide will wait for none, etc. So here sluttish is the word which of course is not having the modern or contemporary meaning. Don't take it like that. It is to say that time, of course, can destroy anything, because we know the ancient constructions or monuments or buildings will be in a dilapidated state, a destroyed state. They may be ready to collapse. Some, just walls may stand, losing all their charm, etc. So, though stone is very strong, of course, it cannot stand for the time. It is not eternal. Okay, time, of course, besmears it. Of course, brings some kind of ruin to the stone also. And then, when wasteful war shall statues overturn. So, naturally, when one kingdom wages war with the other kingdom, of course they try to, the winner or the victorious king will try to erect his own statue and destroy, if any, of the old king. Wars, of course, will cause the overturn of statues, or it might be a particular statues or temples or any other things of any other religions or other customs, practices, etc. And broils root out the work of masonry. The work of masonry, mason who works with cement and all, who builds buildings or constructions are made. Broils are squabbles, okay, and then they, of course, while people are fighting, they try to destroy their places also, their buildings also, their residences also. So in that way, he says that the wasteful war, of course, he says that war is of no use. Yet in history, we have all wars only. History, of course, has the account of wars. How many wars, of course, have taken place, and whenever wars take place, naturally statues will be overturned. They will be cut down and they will be destroyed, etc. Nor mass his sword, nor war's quick fire shall burn the living record of your memory. See, the first two lines he is saying that Wars will destroy the great statues which are built thinking that they will be for generations. They will stand for generations. Okay. As of late we have much debate over the construction of a big statue. Whose statue is that? Someone can tell me? Balagangadhar Tilak or
Vajpayee, ma'am.
who's that?
Sardar Vallabhai Patel, madam.
Ah,
Sardar Vallabhai Patel.
well, I forgot the name. So, see how many millions of the amount was spent. Of course, thinking that it will become a monument in the history, and of course, it is the biggest statue in the world, etc. So, thinking like that, of course. Kings or princes or emperors might have built so many statues, but what happens when the war comes? The other king or the other people, the opposite people will aim only on the destruction of those statues. You know what happened when Andhra was divided. Telangana and Andhra was divided. So many, freedom fighters statues that were on the bank of what is that? Uh, what is that river there? You have Tank Bund, no, in Hyderabad. Do you know that? I'm not getting the name. Huh?
Yes, ma'am. Hussain Sagar.
Hussain Sagar. So, you might have visited. I visited. So many beautiful statues were there. Of course, they are actually speaking about the history. But what happened when the division happened? So many were destroyed. Okay. So, and broils root out the work of masonry. Broils here can be squabbles or struggles between two people or two groups of people, or we can take it as the natural calamity of earthquakes also. So here what happens when natural calamities occur also, all these man-made works will disappear. But here, and then, nor Mars his word, nor war's quick fire shall burn the living record of your memory. But what about you? While the statues are being overturned, while the works of masonry were being rooted out, okay, and Mars is the god of war, and so his word, Mars' word, of course, here he brought mythology and he says Mars' word are war's quick fire. When wars occur, actually people will try to burn down everything that is belonging to the opposite, okay, kingdom or king, etc. But what happens to you? The living record of your memory will never be taken away either by wars or even by the fire. People fighting with one another, feeling jealous or whatever way, they will try to destroy the other person's, okay, properties or buildings or human beings also they kill, etc. But here he is assuring his beloved that you will never disappear. War will not remove you, or fire will not remove you. You will be here forever. Against death and all oblivious enmity. So, how will you remain? You will remain against death. Even death cannot take you. And all oblivious enmity. We always will have enemies, but enemies also will not make you oblivious, will not make you disappear. Shall you pace forth? So amidst all this, you will pace forth, you will walk into the history. Your praise shall still find room even in the eyes of all posterity. He says that your praise, how I am praising you, all sonnets 1 to 126 are praising the fair young man, pleading the fair young man, or celebrating his friendship, celebrating his beauty, celebrating his love, etc. So he says that your praise shall find room even in the eyes of all posterity or future generations. So wars will destroy, natural calamities will destroy, people will destroy each other, but you will never be destroyed. Even death cannot destroy you. Even after your death, you will not be forgotten. Against death and also oblivious enmity, you shall pace forth. You will happily walk into the history, where all people will be remembering you. Your praise shall still find room, even in the eyes of all posterity, future generations, that wear this world out to the ending doom. So, how long? So now, finally, he should say how long this his beloved's fame or beauty or his celebration, etc., or his memory in the eyes of or in the minds of the posterity will continue to the ending doom. This is a reference to the second coming. Okay, this world out to the ending doom. The Christian belief is that the world ends with the second coming. Okay, and then here you can also see that perhaps the speaker is intending that even after his physical death, he will meet his friend. Okay, in the second coming, where it is believed that souls will be um, taken to the heaven by God in the second coming. So souls who are buried, actually the Christian way of dealing with the corpses is burying, not burnt. They won't burn it because they believe that all these souls will be sleeping in the womb of the earth until the Christ gives call for them. The Almighty gives call for them in the second coming. So you will be rising. So he says that you will live in the lines, in these contents, means in my poetry, in this rhyme, as long as the end of the world. Wars may come, natural calamities may come, you might be having enemies, and they are fires may occur, great fires. Actually, England witnessed a great fire of London. You can Google for that. Okay, how much loss that London or England witnessed during that, or Black Death, like the disease, like as we are having Corona now, they have Black Death due to plague. Hundreds and thousands of people have died at that time. So the history, if we see, has many instances like that, and we might have forgotten so many number of thousands of people, or statues, great monuments, etc., etc., have erased from our memories. But the speaker is telling that you will live forever. His beloved lives forever. Forever until when? Until the end of the world, doomsday, that is the second coming. So, till the judgment that yourself arise, you live in this and dwell in lovers' eyes. So, of course, my love, and we are the examples for the lovers. How our love is being celebrated here, and we'll be going to another poem where there is a pure celebration of love. So he's saying that till the judgment that yourself arise, the day of judgment, when you will be rising to the words of the Almighty, so that we may meet in though he did not state that here, he of course is anticipating that, he is expecting that, and you will live in this and dwell in lovers' eyes. You will keep on living, and also you will be living in the eyes of the lovers. Lovers, when they turn to have good examples of love poetry, etc., of course, the Shakespeare sonnets present many. So that is why he says that you will dwell in lovers' eyes. So I have, a few lines of notes also regarding this. I need not go again to that and then explain that, because I have explained here. Coming to the major theme, it is, of course, immortality. Immortality of love or his beloved, theme of immortality. So you may get a question like write about the theme of love and immortality as you examine in the sonnets that are prescribed for your study. So if at all you get a question, the theme of immortality is dwelt in this poem, okay, in this sonnet. So the three quatrains, of course, as we have discussed that sonnets are argumentative and reasoning, etc. The three quatrains, of course, the argument, is started at the very beginning. He states, nor marble nor gilded monuments of princes shall outlive this powerful rhyme. In the very beginning itself, unlike the other sonnet where he keeps on giving reasons for not comparing or for comparing, etc., in sonnet 18 and then in sonnet 30, where he says that he is worrying about his past, which is recurring in his memory, and also finally he concludes. But here in this sonnet we see that from the very beginning in each quatrain he has of course two lines dedicated to the power of his rhyme. So this is very great thing that he of course affirms the greatness of his own rhyme. And of course we it is true also because in 5 centuries, after 4 centuries or 5 centuries, we are still reading his lines. So when I share this ppt, you can have you can note down the explanation of this poem. I hope you have no doubts. Please respond.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, shall we close this here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Right. Then I will again
Okay,
go
ma'am.
to another sonnet. Yeah, just wait. After 55, we have one more sonnet. 5 sonnets are prescribed for your study. So I have one more sonnet, that is 116. So let me present this. Let us go through this sonnet. Yeah, here it is, sonnet 116. If you are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So let us
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
it
ma'am.
is
Ma.
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
This is a very, very popular sonnet of Shakespeare, sonnets of Shakespeare. Again, the main theme is love, and a very ideal platonic kind of love. Okay, this is where he says, marriage of true minds. Okay, and this popularity, of course, we cannot measure, because this is a very favorite sonnet for lovers, who want to celebrate the power of love, and also who wants to, this is often prescribed for study, and also many have written comments and analysis, etc. And of late we have a modern analysis also, whether because Shakespeare is writing all these poems towards a fair youth. So what is this kind of love between a man and man? So this is how it is also in the modern days question, and what type of love it is, etc. But whatever be the criticism, this is a very popular sonnet, which of course is celebrating love. So I have already given some lines of explanation, which you can of course write down when I share the PPT. So let us go to the first quatrain. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. So the first quatrain is definition of what is love. Okay, so he says it is love is like the marriage of true minds. It is not about the marriage of two bodies that is spoken here, it is true minds. And he says that I don't want to what you say, present any impediments, any obstructions, etc. Actually, this marriage of true minds and then impediments, these two words are taken very much because they are marriage words that occur in a marriage ceremony in the Christian marriage. Because impediments, they say, bride and bridegroom and even the whole church is asked to present if they have any impediments against the couple. If you have ever seen or witnessed the Christian marriage, you might have come to know that. Okay, in front of all the members, the pastor who is performing the marriage will ask in the bridegroom and also members of the church whether they have any impediments against this marriage that is going to take place. So here with this word, actually critics have taken much about this, what type of marriage. Because if it is the marriage of two persons, of course the two persons should not be man and man. Two men will not be. And in those days of Elizabethan days, like gays and lesbian, etc. Nowadays, you might have heard how in the West and in America also it is permitted that lesbians or gays can marry one another, and then but in the Elizabethan England, of course, it is not accepted. It is not accepted. So their critics have taken much analysis about how he is talking, what is this ideal kind of love, platonic love, etc. So this marriage is not literally like our worldly marriage, etc. And then he says, I never want to create any objections for the marriage of true minds. Here is true love, we can take. Love is not love which alters when alteration finds. So, alteration means what? How it may find, alteration can be in our age, okay, or in our situation, or in our beauty, or in our financial positions, etc. So whatever may happen, okay, after you enter into a bond of love, it should not alter. If it alters, it is not love at all. And he says that, or bends with the remover to remove. If you say that you are loving someone, or there is love between two people, and if someone enters and tries to remove it, it should not get removed. If it is removed, they and or bends with the remover, so means what? You someone is trying to remove your love from your heart, and love of the other person in your heart or in you, etc. If you bend to remove, if you listen to those words, and if you start hating the person whom you loved one time, it is not love at all. So in the first quatrain, he says that I will never create any impediments to the marriage of true minds, which is true love. And then he is going to defines what true love is or what is not. If it is what he says gets removed, it is not love. If it alters, means what? If it changes, it is not love. What is not love is given in the quatrain 1. Now quatrain 2. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. What is this ever fixed mark and that looks on tempest? This is the light from the lighthouse. You know where the lighthouse is located? On the shore of the sea. Okay, on the seashores, lighthouses are built only to guide the barks or ships. And that lighthouse will be built in such a strong manner that even in front of tempest, it will never be shaken. And the light that keeps emanating, okay, will never be shaken. So that is a fixed mark. And what is love to define this? The quatrain 2 is defining what is love. So he says it is an ever fixed mark, and it always looks on tempest and is never shaken. Perhaps in other words, he says that love may encounter many turbulences, many disturbances, etc., but it should not shake, but it should be fixed. So this firmness and fixity is compared with the lighthouse. It is the star to every wandering bark. So what is lighthouse? The lighthouse is there to guide the wandering barks, and so it is like the star. You know how stars are there every time and permanent. So like the star, the lighthouse is also standing still, and it is guiding all the wandering barks. See, for example, we can here take, in other words, love is like a fixed mark for those who are wandering, those who are not constant in their thoughts, not having, those who are having wavering minds, etc. If it is true love, they will stop, change their nature, and they will become stable or fixed. So the fixed mark, like the lighthouse and the star, the pole star, whose worth is unknown, although his height be taken. See, we never consider that a lighthouse is that much important. It can be that much symbolic, or even the star is symbolic like that. Their worth is not known at all, although his height be taken. But we always wonder at the height of the lighthouse, because it should be seen by the ships that are on voyage on the sea, even from far away. They have to, when they are far away from the shore itself, they can locate the lighthouse. That is an indication that they can safely come to a shore. Okay. That is why here he is saying that it is like an ever fixed mark. What is love? Love is an ever fixed mark. And of course, in the last line, we can interpret like this. People, of course, talk of love always, but never know what love is, what true love is. They don't know that love should be like this. So what love should not be is explained in the quatrain 1, and what love should be is here in the quatrain 2. So he says that we talk of love always, but whose worth is not unknown. Its worth is not always known to earth, and although his height be taken. So, but love, of course, is the primary emotions, but not the only one emotions. That is a different matter. Yet love is the base for all other emotions, and of course love is what makes the world to run. We all agree, but we don't know what love is and what it should not be also. So in the third quatrain, again he says what love is not. Love is not time's full, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle compass come. See here, time is personified with, like a man who is handling a sickle. Sickle, an instrument to cut the grass, etc. So he is here personifying time. Again, he is saying that love is not time's fool. Of course, time is very powerful. It changes many things. And if you take our own life, we are infants or children, and then youth, middle age, old age, etc. So the time passes, we change. Rosy lips, rosy lips and cheeks, etc. In infant, you have a rhyme also. So when you are a child, you will be like that. But with his bending sickle, compass comes. So, but with the time, as if time has cut away our rosy lips or cheeks, etc. With the passage time, our physique may undergo many changes, but love should not change. So, though our physique may change with the bending sickle of the bending sickle, which is the time, the sickle, the time, who is personified as a man, takes a sickle and then keeps cutting so that we change with the passage of time. But love alters not with his brief hours and weeks. So, people, human life, human beings will change, but he is saying that love will never alter with his weeks, hours, how we count time. So he says, with hours and weeks it will not, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. So love should be there till the death. Edge of doom is till the end of the, and to take in the case of a man or women, we say until our death, love should be there. And if it is for the universe and end of the universe, love will be there. If this be error and upon me proved, I never writ nor no man ever loved. So this is his pronunciation where he says that if you prove that whatever I have stated regarding love is an error, okay, and you see, he says that think that I have never written and no man ever loved. So if you prove that it is wrong, whatever I state about love is wrong, you can take it for granted. I have never written and no man ever loved on this earth. So this is how he says that love is the great fixed mark, and it should be constant, it should not change, etc. And in general, this actually to develop positive emotions, okay, this sonnet is very popular, as I told you, and of course very lyrical in quality also. If you have the talent to compose a song also, it can be composed like a song. Very lyrical originality is there, and words, how the rhyme scheme, of course, as the Shakespearean stanza, the practice of tradition of Shakespearean stanza, the rhyme and iambic pentameter, all are there, all qualities are there in this. So this is how love, he celebrates love. If you take out of the context, that means out of the sequence, sonnet sequences also, you can very well take the meaning of this sonnet, because it is all about love and the celebration of love. Okay, so I have some explanation lines which I'll be sharing later. So I think I will close the class here with these two. Do you have any doubts? Hope all of you
No,
are
ma'am.
there. No doubts? Who is it? Vamsi or
No, ma'am.
Ashish?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay,
Ashish, ma'am.
okay, right. Anyhow, I will be posting this recorded lecture also. You can listen again and try to write down explanations. Yeah, explanation no, that is given in the PPT. I'll be sharing this on the group also. Okay, right.
Okay, ma'am.
Shall we close?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
hope you are doing well. Take care at
Okay,
most.
okay, ma'am.
Examinations may or not, I don't know whether your exams will be as it is, etc. But you keep preparing, thinking that your exams will be there in the May only, at the end of May only. Okay, right.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, have a nice time.
Thank
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.